Cancer, I'm Ellie with PsychicFuture.com, and this is your horoscope from the 1st to the 7th of October. So, following on from the last few weeks, we've still got a really big focus on the theme of harmony and balance. And if you watched last week's video, I was talking a lot about how we can see this kind of balance in our relationships, so that when we look at somebody else that we've connected with, we can see a lot of ourselves in that person. So this week is going to kind of hone in on that a little bit more, but perhaps give you a few more practical examples of how to do it, because last week's video was quite kind of deep and spiritual, metaphysical, so maybe I lost some of you guys. But this week it's going to be a little bit more practical. So in particular, we have got Venus is going retrograde. So before you go, oh my god, not another retrograde, I can't handle it, don't worry, it's not going to be like Mercury retrograde, because Mercury retrograde is very chaotic and all over the place kind of energy, whereas Venus is a lot slower and softer, a little bit more gentle. So what it's going to do is it's going to help us to really slow down and take a look at our relationships with new eyes. So if over the last few weeks you, like everybody else in the world I swear, has been incredibly busy trying to plant seeds to improve their life and trying to work really hard and try and balance a home life with a social life and a work life and all of these spinning plates that we've all got going on constantly, it gets a little bit too much. And actually I find, for me and for a lot of the people that I've spoken to recently, what really starts to slide is your social life, and the people that you love. So if you live with a partner, then perhaps you're doing this thing where you're kind of like ships in the night, this expression where you see each other in the morning and you say, hey, yeah, I'm going to work, bye, and then you come home at night and you're like, hey, okay, yeah, great, bye, and you don't actually get to spend a lot of quality time together when you're not exhausted or you're not kind of in a rush. And it's the same with like friends, weeks can go by and you think, oh my god, I haven't spoken to my best friend, and I love speaking to her or him, and I haven't for weeks. And that's what happens when we're so focused on kind of achieving and progressing, which is natural. But this Venus retrograde now is going to get us to take a look at this stuff and go, do you know what, I haven't spoken to my best friend in a month and I want to speak to her. Or, I really want to just have a dinner with my partner where I don't have to think about work, we don't have to talk about work. Or, maybe someone's parent can take the kids and we can just have a romantic meal together. Or, maybe we'll meet up for a coffee. Just anything that's like, just slow down and really focus on your relationships as like a number one priority. This is what Venus retrograde is going to do. So enhancing it is Pluto is moving direct. So Pluto has been retrograde recently, and it's been causing a lot of us to feel like we want to move forwards and we want to change and we want to bring in new stuff into our life that kind of lights us up and makes us happy. But it's been like a slow process that we've been somewhat held back in for whatever reason, we don't know. Now that Pluto is moving direct, this is going to really help us to be able to just have the energy to move forwards, and it's not going to feel quite as heavy or slow. So because of that, we'll have more energy to put into our relationships. This is a really nice week for that. And for you, Cancer, it's going to be really important for you to notice any feelings that you get in your relationships this week, because you're a very sensitive soul, and perhaps because of that you do tend to repress a few of your feelings. So if someone ever hurt your feelings, maybe by accident, maybe they said something that was just kind of off the cuff and they didn't think, and you don't really address it, you kind of just go, okay, tuck that back because I don't want to upset them, or I don't want to feel that too much. Now is the time for you to actually kind of like face that stuff. So if there has been somebody that perhaps you feel like has been neglecting you, you can reach out to them. You don't have to be like, hey, you've been neglecting me, but you can just say, hey, you want to hang out, I'd love to see you. And don't try not to be too focused on like rejection of this kind of thing, because a lot of the time people aren't actually rejecting you, they're just so busy with their own stuff that they're too much in their own world. And a lot of the time, Cancers are quite prone to this, but all of us are prone to doing it, it's not just you. We tend to make things about ourselves when they're not really about us, they're about the other person, and the other person is just busy or distracted or not thinking, and then we go, oh no, that's because I'm this or I'm that, or they don't like me, or they don't want to hang out with me, and these kind of things. It's not about us, it's about them. So try and remember that this week, because Venus retrograde will be trying to teach you all sorts of lessons in your relationships, and it's all going to be like kind of bubbling ready for transformation for this like new kind of improved relationship mindset that you're going to have with Pluto in the mix as well. So I've got some tarot cards here and I'm going to draw you one, but I'm not going to do general, I'm going to do like for your relationships because that is the theme of the week. So let's have a card for Cancer, that one. Okay, what's this one? The Two of Wands. Okay, so this is talking about some idea is ready to be started, and it doesn't have to be like a project or work or anything like that. It's just anything that you've had niggling in the back of your mind that you thought, oh wow, that's really interesting, is now ready to be matured a little bit. It's now ready to have some sort of like birthing, or like some action is needed to be taken basically. So you've had the initial idea of, you know, perhaps, oh, I'd like to try this, or I'd like to do that, or I'd like to connect with this person, or, you know, just some idea has happened, and now it's like you need to put in the action to make that idea happen. So this, because this is in relationships, this might be to do with you know, oh, you know, I'd love to try a yoga class with so-and-so, or I'd love to go out to that new restaurant down the road with my partner, or, you know, I'd love to go round to my family's house and, like, I don't know, play Monopoly. Like anything that has just like been like a little light bulb in your head recently. Perhaps you've just tucked it away and gone, oh, we don't have time for that, you know, we've got to work. This is now saying, like, put some action into it, like take the next step towards actually creating that thing, because it's going to be really nice for you, and all it takes is just like a little bit of action, like, you know, texting that person saying, hey, do you want to check out this yoga class, or hey, are you free on Thursday night, or, you know, hey, you want to check out this or that. Just try and take that first step towards this action that you need to take in your relationships this week, and yeah, it'll be really nice for you. So have a lovely week with that, and check in for next week's video. Much love.